Hi guys, my name is Courage. I'm the owner of C and J Adventurous Bites, a cake and pastry business located in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And the reason for this video is just to enlighten us on a pertinent issue which usually causes tension between business owners and customers. So I've just put together a few points which will help us, and I'm talking specifically about the aspect of asking customers to make payment before picking up or delivering any product or service which you offer as a business. So just keep watching this video. So the first thing I would like to highlight is the aspects of clear communication. You cannot overemphasize on the ability to communicate your information, your policies clearly to a customer. This is going to it's going to make you avoid unnecessary tension, unnecessary misunderstanding, because you can always refer the customer back to the information you gave the customer when the customer wanted to place an order. So if you are someone who requires, let's say, 50% or 80% or 25% of payment to confirm an order, make sure you inform the customer about that. Do not beat around the bush trying to please the customer I don't know, or trying to retain the customer. Instead, if you do not inform the customer about that, and before pickup the customer is asked to make that payment, the customer might feel like you are not serious, might feel like you are shady. So it's better to inform the customer about your policy when it comes to payment, whether you are receiving 50% payment before you even start an order. In my own case, since it's a food business, I require, or I ask the customer to pay at least 50% payment before I can even start doing anything for the customer, because this payment actually confirms that the customer is going to come and pick up, and the customer is definitely going to complete the payment before pickup or before delivery. So just be clear with your communication. If you require 100% payment, ask the customer or inform the customer about that, and also let the customer know that if the customer hasn't made this payment, the order is not going to be made, or the goods or services are not going to be made available to the customer. So the customer has to make this payment before you even start whatever the customer wants you to do for them. So I usually tell the customers, confirm your order at least 24 hours before pickup or before delivery. This is to enable me run around, get a few things which I may not have, but if I have everything, it's still fine. So this also helps you to organize yourself, and it also keeps the customer aware of the policies that you have put in place, and also inform the customer that the customer has to complete payment before pickup or delivery. So I usually avoid a situation where the customer will pick up and then I have to remind the customer to complete payment. I actually don't like that, because sometimes it might cause tension. So it's better to communicate clearly your payment policies before you even start any order for a customer. The second thing I would like to talk about is that you should not over insist and argue with your customer. In some cases, you might tell the customer, okay, you have to pay me, you have to make a deposit of at least 50% of the total amount for the order. And the customer is like, but why do I have to pay for something which I haven't seen? Well, in this case, you don't need to go about arguing with the customer or back and forth. You just need to explain to the customer that that is the policy, and it helps you also prepare yourself for the order, because you're actually using the person's money to make what you have to make. Even if you have the things in the house, you're going to use that money to buy from whatever is available in your home or in your shop in order to make that customer's order. So just explain to the customer like that and leave it at that. If the customer understands, fine. If the customer doesn't, it's still fine. You don't need to exchange words with the customer, which is instead going to cause more issues for your business. The third point I want to highlight is the fact that the customer will not always be the one at fault. You can also have an issue which will prevent you from making a delivery to the customer. So you can fall sick or some unforeseen events can come up. And in this case, you should always be ready to refund because you are at fault here. It was not intentional, yes, but the customer needs what the customer paid for. So you should be ready to either refund or do everything in your power to communicate with the customer. And if the customer is okay, you can do the delivery later. Yeah, just make sure you should put in your mind that you may refund the customer if something goes wrong, if you are unable to deliver or the goods are not what you expected. You don't want to deliver low quality goods to a customer just because you want to meet up with time. It's better to communicate with the customer and agree with the customer, and if the customer is not okay, you can refund completely, total money paid by the customer. Do not start saying you refund 80% because you've already made the order. No, it's not the customer's problem. It's not the customer's fault. So just make sure you put it in your head that if you ever find yourself in such a situation, you have to refund the customer's money. And the last thing I want to talk about and stress on is that no matter the demands of a customer, you should stay polite and understanding. But it doesn't mean you should let the customer abuse you or insult you. But if the customer is just asking questions to be sure and the customer is not certain about paying before picking up an order or being delivered, you should just explain to the customer, as I said, and understand that people have fallen prey to fake business people out there and they have lost money and they're just being cautious. So all you can do is explain politely to the customer why you are doing what you're doing and try to reassure the customer that uh, you're going to deliver and so on. Uh, just be polite and understand the customer as well. And customers, you should also understand business people because despite the fact that you're giving money, it's not like you're just giving out the money for free. You're giving that money, and the person is going to use your money to make something or get something for you in exchange for your money. So it's an exchange. So because you are giving money, it should not be as if you should always have the upper hand. No, it should not be like that. So there should always be an understanding from both parties in order to avoid tension, which mustn't exist. Just try to communicate clearly. Do not exchange words back and forth with the customer. Be ready to refund when you're at fault, and also understand the customer, be polite, and also customers understand business owners. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.